Welcome to your one-stop shop to learn how to get people to think you're interesting. I'm gonna just jump right in because the goal of the video, as you can see right there, is to 10x your ability to connect in under 5 minutes, which 5 minutes is not a lot of time, so we're hopping right into it. All right, the why. Success in life equals the people you meet plus what you create together. You have to be able to connect together to create something together. I mean, if you're not connected, you're not gonna create anything. So honestly, as much as I've seen and experienced in my life so far, this quote is completely true. And success in life comes through what you make with people. So that's why it's important. And also, just from a scientific standpoint, we create being with like tribes since those old days, but we're born lacking the skills to connect. We want this connection. We want to feel included in purpose, but we're born without the ability to connect properly. So, no longer though, with this help of this video. Starting out, some prerequisites to connecting. So, a fact: people don't like those who are insecure, prideful, overly busy, negative, etc. Angry, agitated, that sort of thing. So you have to learn to control yourself first. If you don't, figure out how to handle your own issues, no one's going to want to connect with you if you have, these symptoms or whatever. For me personally, I recommend looking to Jesus for answers on how to control yourself, and it'll just completely reframe your life. So a little shout there. And also another way to connect is do cool stuff. If you're not doing anything interesting and you're boring and your biggest highlight is drinking on the weekends, I wouldn't want to connect with you either. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. So don't talk small. Everyone's like, oh, I don't like small talk. It's rough. It feels awkward because it is. It's pointless. Everyone knows it deep down. I always love jumping straight to the point. Like this I wrote down. Small talk will get you nowhere. It's like just basic filler words that you just say to make noise with your mouth, as Alex Hormozi says. So you need to dive straight into their goals or dreams, relationships, health, wealth, those important things that are all a part of our lives and what we spend our time thinking about. So why wouldn't we spend our time talking about it and connecting around those things? So once you ask about those big things, which it feels a little awkward, like, man, who's this person asking about these things? Like, this has no importance. They don't even care, whatever it is. Like, I went to an interview today. The lady looked a little flustered. I was asking about her life, stuff like that, about what's important and what's coming up. So once you ask about, these bigger things, because you're not talking small anymore, you got to ask why. Now, this is super easy. You simply ask something about, their lives, one of these things I mentioned, goals, dreams, relationship, health, wealth, those things, what they're working on. And then they start to explain, what they're doing. And then you ask why. It's really, really easy to ask why. And I have this down for the toddler analogy, even a little kid, toddler, it's just like, why? And if you, it's kind of stupid, but if you just keep asking why, the conversation just keeps going. Why is just an amazing thing to ask. And if you just build off of it, it doesn't take much effort from you. And people honestly like to be asked why. They like to understand. And it can be also really revealing for them too, because a lot of times they really don't know why. All right, next thing, ask high quality questions. I like this quote here. It says, IQ is shown from the quality of question asked. And that's why Alex Hormozi, as you guys know, I love Alex Hormozi. He's amazing. But it's true. Like if you're just asking like a toddler, let's see, that's my second point. Unlike a toddler, if you're actually articulating your questions better, it gets the conversation going. If you just ask why like a little kid, people are gonna get mad. You're like, stop asking me why, that's stupid. But articulating your questions in a way of asking it that makes sense and gets the conversation going and lets them know that you understand, that you know what they're talking about. It helps them feel heard and just helps them feel like, oh, since they're understanding, they're paying attention, they want more, then it gives them permission to dive in way deeper. Now, you may be asking yourselves, what's next? Those are two basic points right there. I've kind of heard of those things already, but no one does them. So those are basic things, and if you just do those things, you'll be set. But now we got some bonus points for you. So encourage them. Encouragement costs nothing, just like compliments. I made like a video on complimenting, how I wanted to compliment people more. And so far I've done that, and it's been pretty rewarding so far, because when you compliment people, they want to compliment you back. And it's kind of reciprocity sort of thing where, give and get, but also it just feels good. And if it's the truth, it's just, I don't know, why wouldn't you say it? Why wouldn't you say something nice about someone else? Now, if their goal is dumb and you genuinely don't like it, you don't agree with it, whatever, it doesn't have to be a goal, just something they're working on, whatever their plan they're talking about, something you ask and it's like something you completely disagree with, instead of saying that, because obviously you don't want to offend them. And if it's a deep relationship, you might want to dig deeper. But if it's kind of just person you want to connect with, but it's not a huge deal, they're not crucial to your life, then really don't touch on that, because you don't want to say anything too harmful, and just segue the conversation to something different that you're more interested in and you can relate to more just by asking a different question. You can really control the conversation by the questions that you're asking. All right, next up, help them reach their goal. They will be incredibly grateful for you if you, one, encourage them, what they're talking about, stuff like that. You listen, you ask questions, but then you take a step further and you try to help them yourself personally, try to connect them with someone who can help them, or just give them like information. Like if you read a book about it, listen to a podcast about that, or just honestly, if you have like context and it can help them. So you can help them reach the goal in that way, and they'll be really grateful for that. And it's honestly, if you like the person, want to get to know them more, that's a great way to get to know them more, because when you're working over something, you learn a lot about people. All right. 2 ears, one mouth. So this one, disclaimer, is really also hard for me too. I like to talk a lot. I'm a yapper. Last night I was at a Bible study and I literally had to tell myself, I'm talking a lot. I'm like, it's like a group setting. I'm like, I'm probably present in about 50, 60% of these the talking, and I need to chill because I need to give more space. Even though I have good things to say, sometimes I literally just have to tell myself, just shut up. So big thing right here. This just relates to everything. You notice, oh, this whole video is about connecting, stuff like that. But all I'm really doing is asking questions and, learning about them, trying to help them. And it's all about them. It's not about me. Like, what is this? But that's the whole thing. I want to talk about yourself to relate to what they're talking about. It's kind of funny that how to connect to other people is literally just learn more about them. It's all about them. It's not about you at all. When I'm talking to someone, I try to let other people do around 70% of the talking. I just ask these great questions. It gives me time to think of great questions too. And it's really, they think, oh, that person was really great. It was awesome. But really, you're really just asking questions. You're not doing a whole lot. They're really not learning that much about you. But it's just that you being relatable, asking in-depth questions, like, oh, this person's smart. They understand me. That person was really cool, even though you really didn't do that much. So it's awesome. If you have context, though, you can give advice. That is one thing I'll say. It kind of ties into the last right there, help them reach their goal. But if you have context, you've actually been through it, give advice. But two important things to remember. No one wants to be told what to do. So if you give advice, at least in the second thing, frame all advice as mere suggestion. My dad's really great at this. He doesn't like being in the light all the time, like, oh, I'm doing all these things. Like, he always influences people. He's not trying to be sneaky, but if you just suggest something, they're way more likely to get it done. Honestly, this is like for me too. If my dad wants me to do something and he just says, oh, you should do that right now. I want you to do that. I'm going to resent him for that and not want to do it. Even if it's something I want to do anyways. It's actually happened. We're like, yeah, I want to clean my car today. That'd be nice. And he's like, oh, you need to clean your car. It's messy. You need to clean it. Like, now I don't want to do it when before I do. So always frame your advice, frame it as a suggestion. And honestly, if you give advice, try not to give it too much. You don't want to rant about, oh, this is what you should do. This is blah, blah, blah. I mean, this video is a little different because that's what I'm kind of doing, ranting on what you should do, which may make you not want to do it. But hey, this is information and you can take it or leave it. You're the one who clicked on this video. So moving on, humor. Humor is great. Everyone likes to laugh, and people like you more if you can make them laugh. That's pretty self-explanatory. I'm just going to move on. Next, don't be robotic. You may learn some stuff in this video and try it out, and you may find yourself, following along, just like, oh, so this is the next step where I ask why after I ask what they're doing based on that. No, just ask what you're genuinely interested in. I have in here, the convo should flow. It should be pretty easy, especially if they're doing something that's interesting and you're talking to them and you find it really cool. You're like, oh yeah, the conversation. You shouldn't really have to think of questions. You should just genuinely want to know. All right, final slide here. So take action. Nothing changes. Pretty obvious quote there. So just pick one thing from this video and start doing it. Start bringing it to your conversations. Just one thing to remember. I'm not trying to influence you with all these things, but if you just do one thing, it'll make your life way better and help you connect and build better relationships with people. So with that, the best is yet to come, and I'll be seeing you next time. Peace out.